Good day, friends and family, and welcome to my channel. In this episode, we're going to deal with the last of the four contradictions. It's not that there are only four contradictions found in the New Testament. There are many other contradictions. But I'm going to deal with four. Maybe at a later stage I can pick up on other contradictions, but this is the last of the four contradictions that I want to deal with. In this episode, I want to deal with the narrative around the death of Judas Iscariot. How is it presented in the Gospel of Matthew and in the book of Acts, which we are told that the book of Acts and the Gospel of Luke is written by the same person. Anyways, in the book of Matthew, we are told that Judas Iscariot became remorseful about betraying Jesus. So he went back to the chief priests and told them that he had sinned and he wanted to return back the money that he got for his betrayal. The chief priest refused to take it back, so he threw it down on the ground, on the floor. And we are told that he left and went to hang himself. So that's how he died. He hanged himself. The chief priests consulted among each other with other priests or members of the Sanhedrin and reached a consensus that they cannot take the money and put it back in the treasury because it is blood money. So what they did with the money was that they bought a field, a piece of land, so that they can bury foreigners in that piece of land. And so that place, that piece of land was known as the field of blood. So this is the account of the death of Judas according to Matthew 27, 5 to 8. Matthew 27, chapter 27, verse 5 to 8. According to the book of Acts, according to the book of Acts, Judas Iscariot himself bought the piece of land. And in that land, he fell head first or headlong. And his body was split open. And his entrails were gushed out. That must have been quite an impact. So he fell on that field and his entrails were gushed out. And that field was known as the field of blood. Now, I don't know if you notice the differences here. In the book of Matthew, Judas Iscariot hangs himself. And the priests, with the money that Judas Iscariot returned, they buy the field. You understand? You follow what I'm saying? They bought the field, and that field was known as the field of blood. They say until today. In the book of Acts, Judas Iscariot himself he didn't return the money to the priests. He used the money, he bought the field with that money, and he fell. And he was split open. His entrails were gushed out. And that place was known as the field of blood. The only similarity here in the story is that there's a field that was bought, and the place was called the field of blood. The rest of the story does not coincide with, it is contradictory, does not talk to one another. which is which. How did he die exactly? And who bought the field? Now, I've heard people trying to explain this story. They are saying the other common thing is that Judas Iscariot died. And they say that as he was hanging himself, and this is now, their commentary, as he was hanging himself, the branch must have snapped. And he might have been on the edge of a hill. So he landed on his legs and he tumbled. And because he had died for a while, it is possible that his body must have been rotten by the time he fell. And so it makes sense that his body, was split into two. I don't know. You make up your mind. It is difficult to believe in a God that you have not seen. But if that God gives you messages that are contradictory, it makes it even difficult to believe that he existed or he exists. Now, I believe in God, and the only reason why I believe in him is that he gives guidelines. He says, this is how you will know that I am God. I will send my prophets. They will speak. If they think that they spoke about happens, you must know I sent them. If it doesn't happen, I don't know them. He says, my word will not depart from my mouth and return without being fulfilled. He sent out prophets. And there were many prophets. We only have about 24 in the Bible. There were thousands of prophets. Their messages were consistent. Sometimes they were 100 years apart. Sometimes they lived in the same place. Sometimes others were in the kingdom of Israel. Others were in the kingdom of Judah. Their message was always consistent. This is how I can trust that I can believe in this God. The things that he spoke about happened, and the things that he said will happen, I can follow historical events today, and I can see them being fulfilled. This one of the New Testament, it can't be the same God. Because now we have to make analysis and reason ourselves and try to make sense of the things that he said. It can't be the same God. The same God is above all things. He's almighty. He is all present. He has wisdom above the wisdom of men. And he can be trusted with what he says. This one we must now figure out what is going on here. It's not supposed to work that way. It's not supposed to work. It shouldn't be our problem to now try to patch up things that don't make sense. These are beautiful stories that are told, but unfortunately they have a lot of contradictions. And they demean the character of God. This is the reason why I have difficulties believing in the New Testament. But you make up your own mind. Gone are the days where we sit and we listen and we don't interrogate what we are told. We've gone to school now. Unlike our parents who were told and they were illiterate. Gone are the days where the Bible was only a property of the priests. The general population was not allowed to have the Bible. You have a copy of the Bible. There's Mr. Google. He is not always accurate, but he's almost there, 99%. So research and find out. Find out how we can trust the Word of God. It's written. It's in the Bible. But Nevertheless, it is up to you, it is up to me to believe in what we want to believe in. God has given us free will anyways. But this is my story. This is what I find as I'm reading. If you have a different explanation, please, I invite you to share it with me. I'm willing to change my mind if I'm persuaded by the things that you will say. This is all I have for you today. Thank you very much. Until we meet again on a different topic next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.